Last night, while I lay thinking here, some what-ifs crawled inside my ear, and pranced and partied all night long, and sang their same old what-if song. What if I flunk that test? What if green hair grows on my chest? What if nobody likes me? What if a bolt of lightning strikes me? If you are looking for a book with more silly poems similar to this one, then this book is definitely one you should read. A Light in the Attic is written by Shel Silverstein and was published by Harper and Row in 1981. In this book, there is a great poem about a babysitter who actually thinks she needs to sit on the kids, and another silly poem about a gumball machine that only gives out eyeballs. But my favorite poem in this book is called Dog's Day. Here's how the poem goes. They could have sung me just one song, to kind of sort of celebrate, or left a present on the lawn, a juicy bone, a piece of steak, instead of just a candle on this lump of dog food on my plate. But no one cares when a dog was born, and this ain't much of a birthday cake. Now, I loved reading this poem because it helped me connect to a personal experience of mine. My family has always considered my dog's birthday to be very special, and I'm not really sure why. It is just a funny tradition, and we always buy my dog a big bone with a bow wrapped around it for her birthday. Similar to the connections I made in this poem, I was able to make so many more personal connections to the silly experiences that the characters had within the several different poems. I think that when many people read poetry, you don't want to sit down and have to read a poem that is 2 or more pages long. Shel Silverstein, the author of this book, does a great job of making his poems simple and short, yet engaging and hilarious. I absolutely loved my reading experience from this book. Each poem told a different story and had a completely different storyline. It definitely helps keep the reader engaged through the whole book. The children's poems in this book are quirky, funny, and creative, and they help spur imagination of children. They also help start literary conversations. One thing I loved about this book, and I know you will too, is the cheerful illustrations throughout the book. They really keep the reader's attention and give the reader a laugh here and there. However, this book was banned in many libraries because of the poem How Not to Have to Dry the Dishes. Now, this poem was banned because it promotes violence among children. Within the poem, it encourages kids to break dishes so that they don't have to wash them. So that is one poem why this was banned. And there's also another poem in this book that also created a ban with this book. And this one was called Little Abigail and the Beautiful Pony. And this poem led to more criticism for describing the death of a young girl after her parents refused to buy her a pony. And it describes the death in this book, in this specific poem. However, this book is still being used and it's still being loved by many kids and many adults. And for example, if you're a teacher and you're teaching your students about poetry, I would recommend this book and use it to get kids excited about poetry, since there are so many different types of poetry in this book, such as rhyme and repetition. It would be a great way to get students to read the poetry and critically think about the poetry, and then eventually be able to create their own similar to this. So overall, I would definitely recommend this book, A Light in the Attic, by Shel Silverstein, to anyone who likes quirky, silly poems. Both kids and adults can get a laugh out of this book, and I promise this will be a book you'll remember in the years to come, just like I have. Thank you.